Hey, how you doing? This is John and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at Damage Control number 1. This is a Marvel comic. I forget what year this is, but this was by Dwayne McDuffie, who is made famous by the Milestone comics, and Ernie Colin. Ernie Colin did a lot of covers. He did Amethyst. He did a lot of DC work. I'm more familiar with him doing DC work than Marvel work, to be honest. But I just love Ernie Colin. He one of the elder statesmen of comic book art, and I love the concept of this comic. It first showed up in what was it? Marvel Presents number 19. That was the first appearance of the concept of damage control, and I love the concept of damage control. It was like a construction company that specialized in like superhero damage. So when Thor and the Juggernaut fought in the middle of the street and buildings got destroyed, or Count Nefaria dropped a building on the Avengers, you called it damage control. And not only did they have like super sophisticated high-tech equipment, but they also like learned how to like store like the Wrecker's crowbar and super dangerous artifacts. When they first started out, I think I'm not this. Well, this is a 4-issue limited series. I don't think they thought the concept was going to catch on, and to give it a full-fledged run. So they gave it a 4-issue limited series, but it proved to be pretty popular. So it had like 3, maybe 4-issue series. It first appeared in Marvel Comics Presents number 19, and now this is its first limited series. So this is its first number 1. All right, let's open it up. Let's open it up. Okay, we got the Konami video games. Notice there's no indicia just yet. I love that. This is 6 panels, but it's different. So look at that. It's hokey. It's kind of got the thumb firmly in cheek. So just keep that in mind. It's not taken seriously. But we got the Black Knight, Spider-Man, and Thor. They're fighting this gigantic robot, the Tinkerer's robot, and She-Hulk shows up. And they're beating it up. Just look at that. It throws Thor, and that's the way it knocks over the building. It doesn't just smash like it. That shouldn't happen like that. I don't know if that's Ernie Colin or if that's the way the writer told him to do it. But he's climbing. He goes into the mouth. That's such a trope. He climbs into the mouth to destroy it. And here's this guy's. It's his first day of work as like a financial executive for the board of directors or something like that for damage control. And look at that. Ta-da! The buildings. I'd say my sympathy for the guys who clean this up. So the superheroes beat the monster, and there's the wreckage. And I love that concept that in a world where there are superheroes and supervillains and kaiju and stuff like that, man, it's Manhattan. It just must be nuts. So people can't get to work. So let's look at the credits. Dwayne McDuffie, he said he died. He was like 6'6". I think he had a heart attack. Just a big guy. Ernie Colin. Bob Wiak. I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but I loved him as an inker. I discovered him when I was a kid while he was doing the X-Men. And the colors, John Wellington, and letters, Ed King, editor, Sid Jacobson. And I don't know who these people are, but I do know Tom DeFalco was one of the editors-in-chief after Jim Shooter got fired. Jim Shooter ticked off a bunch of people. So this is 1989. I'm glad I didn't say a year, because I definitely would have said earlier than this. So I'm wrong. So this guy's going to work. He makes it to damage control. Oh, they got a sexy secretary. Feet up. She's checking him out. We got, what is this? Bubble gum. So the secretary, I don't know. She's being kind of unprofessional, if you ask me. And here's a Thunderball, common mistake. He calls him the Wrecking Ball. He's like Thunderball, and he's coming to get his equipment. So apparently he paid his debt to society, and he's getting his legal property back. So here's flashback. He's one of the Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew are super powerful, and I think it was Loki. He enchanted a crowbar, and he gave the crowbar to the Wrecker, and the Wrecker, had enough power to fight Thor to a standstill. And then he shared some of his power with other guys, other construction guys. So there's Thunderball, Pile Driver, and I forget the other guy's name. But they're all super powerful, but lately in Marvel, they're just like the jobbers. You make up your new cool pet superhero, and then you have them beat up the wrecking crew to show how powerful you are. So this, her name is something Hogg, and she's the, or maybe that's Mrs. Hogg. She's the person who runs. She's the CEO of Damage Control. All right, and she's running around. There's just so much going on, and that's John Porter, account executive. She has his room all made up and whatever. You know, and at this point, look at that. The robot hits the Twin Towers. That's a gigantic robot. So the wrecking crew's got to disassemble this and fix all the buildings. So at this point, Tony Stark owns 50% of the stock, and Wilson Fisk owns 50% of the stock. And neither one of them are comfortable with the other one, but neither one wants to sell. And I forget what happens, but they do like high stakes shenanigans, and they end up devaluing the stock as the CEO, new CEO takes over, and Wilson Fisk underhandedly undermines public confidence in the company, so the stock gets devalued. And what he was going to do was buy it all back at a cheaper price and take control. And he's like, this guy's wearing the stilts. And it backfired, and S.H.I.E.L.D. ended up buying it. So, like, I think Tony Stark and S.H.I.E.L.D. own all of Damage Control now. And look at this guy. So he's wearing Stiltman technology to do stuff. And then he's moving debris. And what do they find? A radioactive device. And it transforms him into a Hulk. And somehow, I know my place is long with you. My destiny lies elsewhere. And he flies away or jumps away. Because I lose more employees that way. Kind of a joke. And, so she's talking to the foreman. A lot of foremen do look like that. And they got to get to work done. I just love this concept, being that I work in construction too. So it's kind of, something very close to me. So, they're examining everything. They got to use high-tech equipment because they're dealing with nuclear reactors and magical who's-y what's-its and all this strange technology that you could only find in the comic book world. So I just do find that concept I do like. Just imagine cleanup and disposal and construction in a world of like radioactive machines and fluids and magical whatever, So if you notice, I'm not really talking about the story because I pretty much told you though. They're talking about the foreman and the challenge and stuff like that. So Spider-Man's trapped inside this bug bot, they're calling it. Look how big that is. I think the size is kind of inconsistent. And he can't get out because they're finding out that there's an extra-dimensional mass accelerator inside here, and it's constantly like repairing and shifting things around. And like you see, look, it transforms into a Beetle, a regular-sized car. So it's able to shift its mass to other dimensions, stuff like that. Oh no, we've killed Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was in the trunk. Ta-da! And he's able to come out. So they kind of make like a hokey explanation of that's where a lot of like superpowers go. Like, where does Giant Man pull his mass from? He's a living version of those generators and stuff like that. So, and that's what this comic does. It's I think a couple of years later, Kurt Busiek came up with Astro City that did a lot of the same thing, like explored the mundane side of a superhero world. So I kind of do like that. Astro City for a long time was one of my favorite comics. Kurt Busiek kind of lost his way, if you ask me, in the past couple of years. Although that's coming back, but I'm talking about Damage Control. So Damage reports the name of the letters page. This is John Porter. Again, this is, if you see my channel for a long time, this is a common storytelling idea, and I think it works. He's the new guy. So they're explaining everything to the new guy, which is he's the proxy for us. So we're learning through him. This is Lenny, the season's foreman. Again, I think I worked for that guy a few times. And, they're going to introduce it and get a Schwinn bike. So I like this. It's not the greatest. It didn't change the course of Mighty Rivers or anything like that. It didn't really, it wasn't really that, well, I thought it was groundbreaking, and that it was comic books about, non normal people in a superhero world. There was a lot of this. Now that I'm thinking about it, we had Marvels, we have Damage Control, and the Amazing Man over DC. So I guess there is like in comic books you could easily see the zeitgeist. Like the other day I talked about how Cameron Chase and then Jessica Jones kind of came out around the same time. So I guess there is like fashions and fads that go around in the comic book world. So I like this. This is dirt cheap, and I think you can get each volume collected, in a 4-issue trade paperback. It's tongue firmly planted in cheek. Don't take it too seriously. I'm one of those anal retentive comic book guys that like cross the T's and dot the I's, stuff like that. But even I, just take this with a huge grain of salt, because that's the way it was meant to be. And that's all I really got to say about it. I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry, but yesterday there was no video. Geez, like I said, I was playing games with my wife, lost track of time, and I'm sure you guys can understand hanging out with my wife on a Saturday night, playing the games, this video, no offense to anybody, but took second fiddle to that. And then when I literally started posting it at 12:05, put my phone down, woke up in the morning, and it was still uploading. So I canceled it and re-uploaded it, went up in like 7 minutes. So there was something wrong. I don't know. I apologize for that. So I didn't mean to, but I broke my New Year's resolution for a video a day. Well, here's 2 videos today because the other one was supposed to be for yesterday. So, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm back on track with some more videos. I got a big stack of comics to showcase. Hope you enjoyed this. See you around, and thank you for taking time out of your busy day to watch my videos. I really, really appreciate it. And thanks to all the new subscribers. That's great, too. Thanks a lot, everybody. All right, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.